Hello guys, and welcome back to Supreme Ruler 2030 with our China playthrough. If you've watched the last episode, you know we are in a financial mess. Look at my finance report. This is a fucking mess. We occasionally have good sales days like today, but we've been primarily living off of free money being sent to us by all of our allies, which just so happens to be almost the entire fucking world, because this is the only way I could figure out how to make a low GDP country work. I've been messing with finances, I've been building things slowly over time, and during this I've managed to keep my construction costs generally at 1 billion of this or less, not to strain my budget. But today is going to be a big episode where we see, hopefully in the time span of this, if we can conquer this problem or not. Also, last time I pointed out how all these allies were just stuffing units into my land. Here's an example of just a bunch of them coming over here. For some reason, they just... I don't even know what this is. A lot of them, I think, are purchasing units from the Koreas or something and then sending them here. That or they're just sailing up this coast and then deciding to land. I don't know. This is a campaign, so I can't turn on the normal teleportation movement. So this could just be a pathfinding bug. Pathfinding has never worked in SR with the diplomatic merchant marines on, and unfortunately that is the default. I found this coal patch with some coal power plants on it and an agriculture. I'm getting rid of that stuff, just kind of dedicated to coal until I really know what can fit there. We're getting to a point where our timber mills up here are starting to finish. I am spending almost all of my time pausing the game and accepting free money, because without that I would be turning into a debt spiraled hellhole. But since it's been long enough, I guess, that I haven't taken out debt, my credit rating's gone up, but only like a really tiny amount. I actually thought it would have been more by now. I guess I am doing a lot of pausing and playing this very microcosmy. But yes, over the next about half a month in game, maybe even a month in some cases, our first gigantic patch of timber mills are going to start finishing up. And then realistically, I might just end up placing more, because again, it keeps turning into an opportunity good. Not to mention, as I pull off on taxes more and more. Let me show you what my taxes are, by the way. Completely turned off property tax, unemployment, pension are halved. Low income is halved at the moment. Small business is reduced like a touch, so that it's under the corporate tax and whatnot. And I've just been progressively lowering this more and more. It has been lower. It has been higher, as you've seen. This is my social spendings right now. Healthcare I pulled off of a lot just to settle for like 100%. Most of the other things I tried doing the same, but what really seems to matter the most, of course, is just the domestic approval rating. And that's what I'm trying to min-max, is that means that's how I can get the most money out of my people. Down here by this patch of coal mines that we're already building, we can fit some more timber and agriculture. So I'm going to do that. Just on every one of these spots that's already kind of taken up, I'm going to build agriculture and timber. Focusing timber, because it seems agriculture can be just built up like crazy on any spot that can fit it here that's taken. Alright, cool. So that's kind of like min-max, because that was like a whole teeny tiny little patch of coal right there. So I figured I'd min-max that. Agriculture is pretty reliable for sales. Not sure if it really showed today. Yeah, 708. I usually get roughly around a good billion in terms of profits from agriculture. The price still stays pretty good, honestly. It's pretty nice. It's a very reliable good to sell. Timber is all over the place. It's not as profitable anymore because I don't have as much excess, but it's still being sold to my people, which is fine. Perfectly fine. And then consumer goods is the best, but it sells in like weird spikes and it's not the most reliable, and it needs electricity, which I don't produce enough of. So as my actual production goes to and fro, I end up needing more or less production of power. And honestly, it hasn't even been long enough yet that the hydro that I was building from like the very start is done yet. It's getting there. It is almost there, but not quite. I definitely would like to build more. I'd like to get more power efficient, more self-sufficient in that realm. I think the price of this has actually gone down, which is funny considering I have inflation. I've been maintaining my inflation, which is good in this game. It's always so weird to say that out loud, but I've been maintaining it, so that's good. Found 2 more missiles I could research, so I threw those in. Again, I'm just researching all of those things. I'm starting to get new designs as well that I can research, but they are locked behind some techs. A lot of this is opening up because of all the free tech that I'm getting from America as part of my deals with America, so I'm not even researching normal techs because I don't really need to right now. I'm just getting designs. I want to use Chinese designs, which is mostly just a me thing. Is that more efficient? I don't know. But we're doing it. I'm going to hold off on researching actual new units until after this stuff is done. Because, well, it's going to just queue up new techs anyway. Also go ahead and squeeze some more agriculture down on these timber mills. These are timber mills, right? Or is this coal? These are timber mills that I squeezed over here in this patch. Just anywhere that can fit them, because again, it's a very reliable good. It's very constantly profitable. And I'm trying to be cautious about expanding everything else. And I can't exactly be cautious until I see the effect of building a certain amount of things. See what it has on literally everything, unless I sit here and do a bunch of math, and I'm terrible at math, so I'll just observe by effect. A lot of things that I'm building are starting to finish, including the oil gas fields, which as a reminder are not actually very important. A number of hydro are starting to reach the point where they're going to finish. Again, very inefficient, but I have time. If I have anything, I have time. The timber mills are starting to finish. As you see, we suddenly have a huge surplus of that. Don't really know how long that's going to last, so I don't want to go too crazy in building more, but if I can squeeze any extras in just generally anywhere around me, then I will. I would love to like connect just this path here. That would be great. That would also be potentially quite a lot. And anytime that I build timber up here, I'm also going to attach additional agriculture to it. I can fill in the rest of this too. There's no other resources here. I've checked. So I know these spots are good for agriculture. I just don't want to accidentally crash a market, so that's why I'm pacing it the way I am. I know this is not going to help my electricity at all, but I'm finding more resource points and getting rid of pre-built like coal plants and stuff on top of them. I don't want to prioritize finished goods on top of resource nodes if I'm really going to be min-maxing this. But I can also go ahead and find some other places where I can build some hydro. It's mainly in patches. Don't ask me why I'm prioritizing hydro. I don't have a good reason for you. That's one. We want to get this number up to more like 18 for right now if I want to, or 28. If I want to kind of copy and paste what I've already done. It's fucking rubber plant. Oh. Does this show like hydro can go here? It kind of shows that, right? But it can't. I'm not sure why. Does this just have no supply here? This has no supply here. How did anything build at all? That's what I want to know. It's at 26, so that's basically almost done. Okay, no, it has supply. That's weird. It was showing that it had absolutely no supply when I hover over it. Yeah, the supply bar's at 0. Well, that's fucking weird. I don't know what that's about. Well, either way, rubber, in my opinion, natural rubber is more important than hydro anyway, so there you go. That's up 28, so we're like doubling down on hydro building. I'm just gonna try to slowly expand that to make up for any coal stuff that I'm replacing. We're not building any new factories. We're just importing stuff. Hell, we have so many indie goods somehow, I guess just as like a base stock. Maybe some of the scrapping that I've done adds to it as well, that we are maintaining what we use pretty well. Most hilarious thing, we're starting to finish some uranium mines. We've finished a handful and we're already producing a surplus. So the rest of this is just going to be excess. But it's all finishing, which is good. That'll add to our economy. The exports should pay for not only the mines themselves, but it should also pay for the usage of uranium up to that point. So that's going to become pretty self-sufficient. Metal ore seems to be pretty profitable when we have enough of it to sell. We don't usually have enough of it to sell. Our usage and etc. here is kind of neck and neck. We are still building 20 of these. I don't remember where I'm building 20 of these. Right here? Right here, yeah. 30 days remaining on the next patch. I'm really curious to see what effect that has. Coal mines are starting to finish. That's good. Oh, hey, Saudis. Saudis always have some good money. These coal mines are all starting to finish in this patch right here. Yeah, this whole patch of coal mines is about to finish. So we're about to see how that ends up. Timber mills are still profitable. We still have like now 49 of them being made. See all these pop-ups? See how many there are? I literally have to pause several times a day to accept these. So many of them are low in number, but if I don't accept these, then it doesn't work. But I don't want to put it on auto trade because they keep trying to sneak in trades and deals that I don't need and don't care about. So there's no way to just press a button that says, hey, I always accept free money from this country. 21 billion from Nigeria. That is the most any NPC country has ever offered me. Well, isn't that wonderful? It really is. Let's just sneak in some more timber mills here because this seems to be pretty reliably profitable. And then, of course, sneak in any agriculture that fits on top of that because that's also reliably profitable. if this all works out and then my population gets more money, they're going to end up buying more of these goods from me as well, and that goes for pretty much all of these goods. All the oil gas fields we were making have finished. Again, this is not really that important of a thing, just given the fact that we have such a large stockpile of it, but let's go around, try to exploit some more of it anyway. Up here, there's a pretty decent patch. We built like 15 last time. We could build a little bit more this time. Let's say about that much. Yeah, are there any other resources here for any kind of space efficiency? There's a little bit of timber, and there's probably tons of agriculture. Yes, because of course there is. There's always room to farm next to oil refineries and whatnot. So just build up that little patch there. That's another 26 oil gas fields. The oil is like the least important thing that's going there. Rubber is seeming pretty profitable to maybe sell. Oh, this is a terrible trade day. Profitable, but the overall volume is what makes it maybe not very important. Otherwise, I might have reason to still have more rubber synths, but I don't. I would love to just go do my normal thing and go hunt down rubber. Being allied with everyone doesn't help that, but still, Gabon never allied with me, and they have a gigantic patch of the stuff. However, if I declare war, I'm going to run out of money. I've already seen this through. Even with 70% justification, the hit to my everything is going to be bad. We have to try to get stable financially with what we have available to us before we do literally anything. Like, if I can't survive without accepting all this money here, I certainly cannot survive the penalty to my world market subsidy rate, which right now is doubling the value of everything that I sell. So the coal finished a bit ago, and the price is still very stable. So I'm going to build up some more coal over in this region. Don't know how much of it we really need, but I'm just going to be building up a pretty decent patch right here. 34 more mines. The uranium mines we were building were taking a lot of resources. They're not anymore, as we can see. Otherwise, we could just squeeze some timber down here. There you go. And then on top of that, timber, see if we can squeeze any agriculture. Fucking plenty of it, more than we can even fit on the hex in total. Always prioritizing things that are not agriculture and that are not timber, but that's all of that stuff built up nice and fine. Nice and fine. Okay. Hopefully, I'm really hoping, you know, agriculture and all this stuff stays this reliably profitable. It does seem to be staying that way. Finally under our research limit, so I'm gonna go ahead and get more designs in. So I think for AA it's pretty obvious. I want this giant G. The range is much higher. Initiative and everything is not as high. It's not exclusively Chinese, but I think it would be good. The range on it is just so high, and it has some mobility, which a lot of the Chinese designs lack, so I don't really like that of them. Just gonna exclude the rest of it. Artillery, these are all just mortars, and we're not even fucking building mortars. I mean, look, we're just building entirely MLRs, and only the newest and highest range MLRs we have. We don't build mortars or normal artillery. There's basically no point to it. The range is just not good enough. It's not competitive with what the other things can do. So it's just kind of like, what's the point here? I don't see a point. So we're just going to exclude those. We're not going to take any arty. There's one anti-tank available. It's a multi-design. It definitely looks like it would keep up with our infantry. Comparing things is very hard. Oh yeah, it keeps up even better than the ZTL that we currently use. It is notably newer. I don't think it's no, it is amphibious. It is amphibious. And its attack values are superior in every single way. Alright, well, we're definitely getting that. We don't even need a fucking research for that. That's just going to be better than the ZTL and basically instantaneously replace it no matter what. The GMT Storm Hunter, that's a worldwide design. We're not using that. It's gross. Recon designs, we have access to a BTR and WZ6, whatever the hell. This in the BTR is obviously for like Soviet or well, Russian leaning countries. Why is ours listed as being so much higher in year 2038 versus 2025? But you'd hardly be able to tell that there's any difference. These sheets, the stats are so similar. Honestly, in a lot of ways, the BTR looks better. It just doesn't have any way to defend itself from, say, low air targets. The BTR is definitely more of a combat thing because its profile is so much higher. So let's exclude this one. We're going to research the Chinese one. Just made in China. You know, if it's not made in China, I don't want it. What the hell is this disgusting thing? I don't want that. Why would I want such old designs? Get out of my face. No. We got an upgrade to our Pikela. So obviously going to research that. There's a Z-14 helicopter. I'm really not sure if I want this. It's a very basic helicopter. But it might be decent. I will research it. Still not sure how I feel about it, though. We can research the Arctic Sun, but it doesn't have any ASW. If it doesn't have ASW, I don't really see the point of it. Why would I want a patrol ship with no ASW capability? Maybe missile size could help that, right? But I don't really know. Like, can I open that up here? I wish I could compare things more easily, but I cannot. We have a 90s design here, which is really, really meh. Really, really meh. But its stats are not too dissimilar to this one. In fact, in many ways, what we have is actually just better. Notable. Oh, yeah. Oh, what we have is way better than this. It's way better than this. Okay, no, we're just getting rid of that altogether. I've already thrown any missiles onto the research line, so that's that. That's all the units we can research. I'll let this go, and then we'll see about getting some new tech in. All of our uranium mines have finished, and this is the hilarious end result. We're making such a gigantic surplus, and just exporting all of it. Of course, it's uranium, so it doesn't move for very much. 17 million selling that supply. That's really not a lot daily. It's not going to sustain us. The numbers are not actually as impressive as they seem, but we're pretty well off for a good long while, and at least it's some extra revenue, right? I finally got my income over 24 billion. To do it, it's funny. To do it, I just had to turn off the unemployment and pension taxes. And then like the next, like it was like, okay, I was going to lose like 800 million. But instead, I ended up gaining 400 million roughly in everyday income, probably just due to selling more goods at that point, because my population's happier and they have more money to spend. There's literally an entire set of coal fabrication plants on this hex that can be used for getting ore. I'm just going to scrap the whole hex because reasons I've already explained. Metal ore, we're starting to push more of. And it's staying profitable. We've just finished up. We've begun finishing up some mines. So I want to get some more mines built. We just go around to places that already has that kind of stuff. Here, we have another coal mine in our way. Get rid of that. What's this? An ore mine? Ore mine, coal mine. Oh, okay. But I meant coal plant, by the way. So just get rid of the coal plants. I won't be too picky if there's already a mine there. That's not really as important to prioritize. What about here? Nothing else can fit over here. This isn't exactly done inefficiently or anything. Pop down some new ones right there. These are uranium mines that I can toss some ore mines onto. Yeah, sure. Fill that up. Why not? This one's interesting. So there's agriculture on here. Get rid of that. Power, petrol. Yeah, get rid of that. We can build up over that at some point later. And then anything else that has buildings on it already? Well, there is that one. I'll build one right there for now. Just one. We'll still see that it's empty later. It'll stand out pretty well. And then I think that's most everywhere that already has something built on it. That's 24 ore mines currently building. I think that's decent for right now. Of course, we're going to need more electricity as time goes on. So I'm going to go around places that I see hydro plants and then just start putting more of them. They build very gradually. They may cost a lot, but they build very gradually. So having them build gradually is not the most taxing thing in the world. What is all this? Oh no, we have a military base that we can't fit anything there if we wanted to. What is placed here on top of all these potential hydros? Some consumer goods factories. Well, I definitely don't want to get rid of those. Don't even know if I can fit any more hydro there. We'll just scrap one and then we'll see. There's nothing telling you, oh, you could build exactly this many of this type of thing here so that you know whether or not deconning something makes any sense at all. This is another place where we could build hydro, but we also just can't because of everything that's already placed here. Which is very weird. I don't know why it's like that. I think I'm just going to scrap this whole hex. It's mostly agriculture anyway. And then hydro, we'll just put right next to there. Because I should be able to build stuff there. There's just places where it's like, oh, there's something already down. Well, now you can't build anything there at all. It's very weird. I think that's basically everywhere that already has hydro spots on it, like taking it up. And we've filled in everything that we can. So anything else is going to have to be a new spot. I do want to build more indie goods factories because we are just burning through indie goods with all the building we're doing. We're also just burning through it in general, making all the consumer goods we're making. And we're burning through our stockpile. So if we could get more of that going, it would be great. Even if it's only a small amount. Because I know we're going to need more electricity one way or another. I know I was looking somewhere around here at all the many cities where I could just maybe toss down an entire hex of these things. And yeah, there's some good spots. So let's just pick a random town like here, Changning, and make it an entirely indie goods hex. We could probably do 2 of these right now. I think that's what I did last time. Here's another one. An entirely just indie goods hex, 2 of them, to raise my production of it, because eventually I will burn through the stockpile at this rate. I'm gonna start tossing in some non-tradables into my research. So depleted uranium armor, that's easy. VR military training, that's simple. There's a lot of non-tradables to get in here. I don't want to make it so that, like, none of my designs can get in, so I'm not going to fill it up too much, but everything in warfare and transportation for right now, that's fine enough. Just to actually unlock more things in the future, more properly without having to wait on America to research it first. One thing that's been staying very reliably profitable this entire time is timber. No matter what else I build, and I really like that. I really am happy about that. I was curious about timber because I've just expanded my production of it so much, and I was curious what the numbers were. We're the 3rd largest producer of timber in the world, the 2nd highest consumer. My consumption is also raising because I keep lowering taxes more and more. My small business I've halved now to be equal with the low income, mainly just maxing out the high income corporate and sales taxes right now. My inflation has been going up regardless. Last we checked in on it, it was like 1.6. It's at 2% now. Everything's going fairly well. The price of timber is staying so fucking stable, it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna just fill in some more timber spots. Like just dedicated timber spots, because again, it's ridiculous. Some of these places have no supply, which is unfortunate, but that looks fine enough for me. A little bit more agriculture where we can fit it on top of the timber. And there you go. As things get built, supply will spread. Things build so slowly out here anyway, it's hardly even a drain on my resources. Holy crap, for the first time in this playthrough, a new alliance was formed between North Macedonia and Malta. Isn't that incredible? Let me tell you, no matter how much I build, my actual construction costs are really not growing. Look at this, it's under 1 bill. My income is slightly higher than it was last time I checked, even with the tax reduction. My inflation is holding steady. I'm trying not to let it get out of control even as much as I build things. I'm still heavily reliant on money being sent to me, and it has nothing to do with my construction, because my construction is such a small part of my budget, and I haven't raised anything in my spending. Let's go ahead and place some more hydro, though, just if I can squeeze any in around here. I'd like to see that be just fully done eventually, because we'll need plenty more electricity, and this is just the way I'm choosing to do it right now while we're pacing it. That's a pretty decent increase. We'll come back for the rest of that later. Something I've realized is, I think part of the reason we're not really selling oil, and I've noticed this in the domestic pricing that the AI is doing, because I always let the AI manage that usually, is he prices oil above everything else. And it kind of makes sense because it's the one thing we don't produce enough of. So I think he's in like big conservation mode. So I think getting my oil production to a point where it's slightly above self-sufficient is probably good, because then he'll engage in selling it overseas more. Then he might also lower the price a little bit, and we might generate some more revenue overall. So we're gonna place some more oil gas fields. I don't really know how much I'm going for. Let's just say that's some more, because we're also, of course... Oh, maybe I didn't want to do that. Hold on. Does timber fit there? Timber first. Always timber first. Okay. No timber fits there anyway, and there's no other resources on these spots. Nope. So, agriculture it is then. That's all there really is to put there. Just on top of things that are already built, so we don't have to build any more indie fabs or anything. Because as I continuously lower taxes, as my population gets happier due to all the technologies America's researching and that I'm acquiring. I mean, just look at timber. for example. The red bar is getting closer to the blue bar. The prices here are staying fucking the same pretty much always. In fact, it's like getting higher over time, of course. And agriculture is pretty much the same. So we have perfect excuse to keep building more and more of those. The only thing I'm really concerned about is indie goods, because we're burning through this stockpile. And it wouldn't be too crazy to have to import it. It's just self-sufficiency, you know? Because it would be cheaper that way. Thankfully, this doesn't need rubber, because I don't want to have to build more rubber synths after deconning like 70 of them. I'd rather just go to war with like Gabon and then take Gabons. But again, I can't afford to go to war, but even then importing rubber wouldn't be too bad. A large array of mines I was building or finishing, from metal ore mines to coal mines. Coal mines, the prices have dropped down rather dramatically, but both for production and market. Still, that means it's probably good to stop building as much coal. The domestic price we have is still set very high. Timber is profitable no matter what recently, as well as agriculture. Metal ore, I don't really know what this next influx that we just created is going to have effect-wise. I think we've passed Ukraine in production for metal ore. We haven't passed Russia. So I'm going to watch those prices, see how they go. For now, just go ahead and build some more hydro, because the more we can get things that we produce internal, the better that is for our population and our economy, because that money will stay inside of our economy instead of going outside of our economy. So just anywhere over here that can fit any hydro. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all. That's not actually a whole lot. We're still building those indie goods factories. Gotta see how those are made. The consumer goods are selling pretty reliably. We make more than enough for our own population. It's something we don't have the highest uptick on for domestic price. Therefore, I'm tempted to make more of them, since it's really the single most profitable thing. But it also doesn't export fully reliably like every single day. So we have a lot of days where we're really dependent on Russia, Nigeria, or someone like that stepping up to offer us a bunch of money. Oil is something that, if we could get into selling it internationally, could definitely help make up for this. So building more oil is definitely good. I think with the next array that we're building, we'll pretty much be self-sufficient on production and everything. I'm also nervous about making consumer goods, because that might open up okay, well now I have to build a bunch more rubber synths and blah, 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 blah. Let's plop down some more timber while we can. There's some spots here still that could use an engineer, because this is always profitable at least, and it keeps the economy expanding. Can't place any agriculture over anything I just built there, but it looks like I missed some in the past. Yeah. So let's go ahead and place those, so we have a little bit more agriculture coming out along with this. And also, look, we made it into the new year. Woo! 2031, finally. While looking at the supply chain, I'm a little confused. There's nothing here to mark what's being used on construction for indie goods anymore. They've deleted that, because, you know, the supply chain is so much better than what we had before over here, I guess. So I think they renamed construction to military, quite frankly, because the military doesn't use indie goods. Military goods does, but military does not. So I think with the supply chain, they've decided to rename construction to military. That's really the only explanation I can think of, because this other number kind of matches up. For consumer goods, I find that consumer goods production alone is consuming more indie goods than I even make. So making more indie goods is going to be something that we definitely need to do. So let's go find some more random villages somewhere. Let's try to spread things out a little bit. Not put everything in one basket. We'll place some more indie goods. Right, this looks kind of good to me. Place a bunch of indie goods up here. And also, hello, military complex. Let's scrap you. I don't know why you're just there in the middle of nowhere, but we can save some costs on that. Accept this, accept that, and somehow we filled up another episode of trying to make our country more financially stable. And quite frankly, I feel like we've made virtually no progress, even if we have made some progress. This is the journey, this is the path. Do you guys think we're ever gonna make this self-sufficient? I have no idea. Will we ever be financially stable? I don't know, but I'm gonna keep trying. So for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you'll join me on the next episode.